And this is
My
a
thing
must-win
is,
game for the Panthers, sitting at 5-5.
my thing
Must
is with
win.
CMC, I got to mention this. I don't mean add on, but I got to mention this. Demaro Davis and Kiko Alonso have been studs in taking care of running backs out of the backfield for catches. They're a reason why they won the Dallas game because Zeke couldn't catch anything out of the backfield. I mean, or Tony
Okay,
Pollard. I mean, either
let's
didn't
not
have nothing.
compare those guys' catching abilities to CMC because that's like on a totally
Tony
different
Pollard's one of the better
stratosphere.
receiving backs in the league right now, even as a rookie. He catches the ball well. I'm not saying CMC's not talented, but they have two linebackers that can take care of those guys. Michael Thomas gets more catches than CMC. Don't call it a comeback.
Yes, they do. They do. This guys,
Right,
this is a huge day for the NFC South. We just had that matchup with the Panthers and Saints. Now moving on to a big game between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers sitting at 3-7 and the home team Atlanta Falcons also sitting at 3-7. Falcons right now favored by 3.5. On the Buccaneers side of the ball, linebacker Anthony Nelson, defensive back MJ Stewart slated to miss this game. For the Falcons, you know about Devonta Freeman. He's going to miss this game. Also, Austin Hooper, despite, getting in some limited work here and there, is going to miss this game. So, guys, when it comes to pick'ems, I've been wanting to take the Buccaneers for the last couple of weeks. They seem to let me down each and every single time. Just like I'm a regular old Buccaneers fan, just waiting for Jameis to finally have a clean game. It's just not going to happen, apparently.
Hey, Kevin, all I want is just a 15-point game. That's all I want.
I just got an update that George Kittle is definitely expected to be out there tonight versus the Packers.
I also just saw this, too. I was just going to mention that in the matchup later. We're going to talk about that later. I got something to add on to that.
Okay. So, guys, the Falcons, as we know, are a much better team at home than on the road. Matt Ryan is a much better quarterback at home. Brian Hill has let us down these past few weeks as a running back, but they've been getting it done collectively. Russell Gage is a sneaky play for me today versus the Buccaneers. He's taken over that Mohamed Sanu role in the slot. Calvin Ridley on the outside and Julio Jones are excellent plays against this atrocious Buccaneers secondary, minus Vernon Hargraves, minus their starting safety, MJ Stewart. They haven't gotten much of a pass rush, even, outside of Shaquille Barrett. JPP's been spotty here and there. But, Vita Vea is I think is an excellent young player. Ndamukong Suh is a guy who, dirty as he's known to be, I'd still love to have him on Philly, don't get me wrong. But I think at the end of the day, Falcons are just too strong. Fantasy-wise, I like basically everyone in this game aside from the Atlanta backfield. The Buccaneers are actually very stingy against running backs. We've talked about that for the entire season. So I don't have any confidence in guys like Brian Hill or Kadri Ollison, but definitely give me Julio, give me Calvin Ridley. On the Buccaneers side of the ball, I mean, Desmond Trufant is back and playing well, but
you're also missing Sheffield and Ishmael as well on the back end, and Tack McKinley's questionable as well. Just saying, you're missing a lot of defensive players on Atlanta this week.
Right. So, you're not going to take Evans completely out of the game, so I think you can play him.
15 points. That's all I want. 15 points.
Godwin is a strong play on the other side. I would love to say O.J. Howard, but I just can't. Not his involvement this season, and also the Falcons. They have very talented linebackers between Campbell and Deion Jones. Tampa Bay running backs, man, if you want to take your shot with Ronald Jones this week, I guess you can do worse than in a timeshare, but Peyton Barber does have some pretty strong runs to his name as well. But go ahead.
CMC had a day last week, and that was against Falcons defense.
Yeah, so again, it is what it is at this point. I know that's not great analysis from me, but I mean, if you've been playing Ronald Jones, you know what to expect at this point. When it comes to it, at the end of the day, I do think the Falcons have more firepower. I think Matt Ryan makes less mistakes than Jameis. I think that's what's going to do the Buccaneers in today is some sort of interception or fumble in the fourth quarter that seals the deal. So give me 20-17 Falcons.
Dirty Bird's been playing well lately, man. I'm saying not the rumor, but like the reading of Julio can't find the end zone. I'm saying Julio has bold prediction, not 1, not 2, but 3 touchdowns today, goes for $150 and tears up that Buck secondary.
Whew.
I got the Bucks
I think the Falcons
27
win by 20.
20 Bucks win 27-21. Jameis still throws 3 interceptions, but they win. The defense is stout. The fantasy ride, the miracle, wonderful carpet ride the Falcons have been on comes to an end. They turn back into a pumpkin. This team isn't that good. I know they've played well here, but this, again, it's a division game. Got to look at that. The Buccaneers, although they have a turnover-prone quarterback, their defense is pretty stout. They have the requisite weapons to carve up that defense that has been poorest for 95% of the season. Let's be real about it. So, not a big upset here. Bucks 27-21.
And guys, in real life football, Jameis certainly has been frustrating. The Buccaneers live and die by him. But in fantasy, in spite of the interceptions and turnovers, he still ends up being, in the top 10 most weeks. Moving into the Detroit Lions at the Washington Redskins, guys. Here's a game that you might want to just sleep through. The 3-6 Lions visiting the 1-9 Washington Redskins. Dwayne Haskins and the boys looking to get it done today. On the Lions side of the ball, you've got plenty of injuries. Matt Stafford slated to miss this game. Another game that he's going to miss. I'm sure it's been killing him. Matt Stafford, known as more of an Iron Man around the league, a guy who doesn't really miss games and plays through injuries. Trey Flowers is also going to miss this game with a concussion. Deshaun Hand, Frank Ragnow, Tracy Walker also ruled out. And you've got Rashawn Melvin questionable with a rib injury. Guys, I wanted to take the upset Redskins for that reason alone, just because of the injury report for the Detroit Lions.
Scary Terry's coming for you.
On the Redskins side of the ball, Vernon Davis is going to miss this game with a concussion. Deron Payne is doubtful with an ankle injury. Adrian Peterson, Chris Thompson, both banged up.
He's expected to play. Peterson says he's expected to play.
Okay. So Peterson's going to play today, fight through that toe injury. Thompson also battling a toe injury. And here's the more interesting injury, guys. Josh Norman has a hamstring that makes him questionable. So when you're talking about
he's
guys like
scratch. They literally, he practiced all week. He was good to go. And then Mike Minuski, the defensive coordinator for the Redskins, came out earlier this morning and told the reporters that, yep, we're sitting him. We're going to see what else we got.
So, listen, that's the reason why, and I forgot you mentioned that at the beginning of the show, and that's the reason why I feel more confident playing Jeff Driscoll this week as a streamer than Baker Mayfield. I know that Baker is playing the Miami Dolphins, and that's juicy, but the Washington Redskins are equally juicy. Sam Darnold just threw 4 touchdowns versus these Redskins last week, and here's what Jeff Driscoll has that Baker Mayfield does not have, and that's the ability to rush the ball. Okay, Baker Mayfield has not ran the ball more than 4 times all season long. Jeff Driscoll against the Dallas Cowboys, a pretty formidable defense just last week, took 8 carries for 51 yards and a touchdown. And if you know anything about fantasy football, you know that having a running quarterback is kind of a cheat code because you get the passing yards and you also get the points for rushing yards and a rushing touchdown. So that's why when you talk about this matchup where that dangerous Josh Norman is not going to be out there, you've got Kenny Galladay.
Did you just refer to him as dangerous Josh Norman?
Listen, people know Josh Norman. He hasn't been as good in Washington as he was in Carolina, but he was so good in Carolina that he carries the reputation over.
4 years ago.
What was the line in this game again?
You don't want to know.
Lions favored by 3.5.
All right, I got the Lions winning this one big, 35-13. Marvin Jones goes off. Driscoll has a couple of rushing TDs. He looks like a stellar NFL quarterback. It's all smoke and mirrors, but the Lions will be singing praises on Monday morning with this guy. But it's the Redskins. Come on, they're the second worst team in the league.
Hail to the Redskins!
All right, we got
Redskins take it.
We're running out of time, and I want to play it. I'm giving
my score prediction. Y'all got yows. Listen,
go.
Redskins win. Scary Terry has 2 touchdowns because of that depleted secondary. Too much for Darius Slay, given 80% because he doesn't want to play for the Lions anymore. Haskins has his first 300-yard day.
And this is an interesting day for running backs, guys. Darius Geis, I believe, is going to take over most of the carries for Washington, so we'll finally get to see a full day of Darius Geis, and we'll get to see how Bo Scarborough does for the Detroit Lions.
Oh,
so
boy!
There you
go.
Two guys who you may have picked up on waivers these past couple of weeks, finally getting the full workload today in this battle. On a windy day, I'm sure you'll see plenty of them, so keep your eyes out for Bo Scarborough and Darius Geis today in this matchup. All that said, I like the Lions. Give me 10-6.
Wow.
6 points.
All right, next game.
13-10
We're
Redskins.
running out of time crunch here. We got about 15 minutes.
Moving into another rainy game on today's slate, you've got the Seattle Seahawks traveling to Philadelphia to take on my Eagles. This is a huge game for the 5-5 Eagles. Hopefully the Cowboys lose today and the Eagles keep pace, and the NFC East can be a battle for 6-5 at first place. Right now, the Seahawks are a 1-point favorite. Tyler Lockett is expected to play. Jadeveon Clowney, as Dee mentioned earlier, is banged up but still expected to play. Luke Wilson, doubtful for this one, which never really mattered. But
it's
for
now
you,
if the Eagles will have Alshon Jeffrey against the Seahawks, which means they will be out with him, Nelson Aguilar, and Jordan Howard today.
Oh, my God. So, anyways, for the Seahawks, Jacob Hollister is a great play. Josh Gordon, sneaky good play today. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, all those guys, really. I mean, when you're talking about the pace that Russell Wilson is on, even though the Philadelphia Eagles have been playing much better in the secondary since getting Jalen Mills and Ronald Darby back, I've been happy about that. Still, all those guys are great plays. On the Eagles side of the ball, it's going to be ugly. Miles Sanders should handle a lot of the workload. We're going to see some Jay Ajayi today, I'm sure. Yeah, with Alshon Jeffrey being iffy, Nelson Aguilar already being iffy. Yeah, Jesus. We're talking Jordan Matthews, Mac Hollins, and
Arcega Whiteside and Greg Ward.
Oh, my God. I'm all flustered. I'm worked up. I can't even think of names today. I'm short-circuiting. You can play Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert, for God's sakes. But I think my Eagles are going to put up a good fight. You know, it's still. I see you laughing over there, and I don't like it.
I just told you your top 3 receivers are out. How are you even going to say that right now?
All right, I'm jumping in here to calm him down so you can think straight, because you're clearly not helping the situation, Stagger.
All I'm saying is...
Shut up! We don't have time for your monkey business. Dillon, here's a calming voice for you. The Eagles win this one 24-23 in a defensive game where they force short fields and are able to capitalize on it because of their defense and Russell Wilson. This offense and defense has good games, but they're against divisional opponents. Against non-divisional opponents, they have not been that good across the board, especially when you look at all the advanced metrics and statistics and then watch it. They are a lot sloppier and getting away on a lot more lucky bounces than people want to give them credit. I'm not saying they don't, because I have them ranked in top 5 in my power rankings, but it's not unfeasible for these guys to be able to pull this off in a very close game, Dillon. So I got them 24-23.
Seahawks 27-17.
I will say, speaking as a fan, I'm very surprised the Eagles are favored by even a 1.5 here. I'm taking the Seahawks 24-17. Moving into another matchup, we have the Jaguars and the Titans. This is another one of those games you might take a nap through, but it also could be really good. Derrick Henry has a history of tearing up the Jaguars on the ground. He had that awesome 200-yard game at the end of the season last year where he got a 99 stiff arm rating from Madden for it. On the Jag side of the ball, only tight end Seth DeValve slated to miss this one. On the Titans side of the ball, Delaney Walker is doubtful.
Johnny Smith.
We've got the Titans at home favored by 3.5, and I like that. I think Ryan Tannehill and the boys get it done. Of course, you never know who's it gonna be getting it done for the Titans each week. Is it gonna be Corey Davis, A.J. Brown, or Humphreys? I think Humphreys has a good game this week myself. On the Jaguars side of the ball, you got to play DJ Chark. You got to play Leonard Fournette, obviously. Those are the only safe bets on the Jaguars side of the ball. I like the Titans to win this one 18-14.
Yeah, Titans. I'll take the Titans. 28-24. I